Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Bonnie from the Youngsies, and this weekend we had the Ultra Reality Game Circuit Series Phoenix in Phoenix, Arizona, as shown on the Ultra Reality Games Facebook page. They didn't post the deck list on the website for some reason. But we have the top 16, and the top 16 for this event was 11 Performer decks, with 10 of them being the Perform Mages, and one of them just being Perform Pal Draco Slayer. 3 Monarchs, 1 Mad Spectre, and 1 Cosmo. So let's go ahead and get right talking about this event. This event's very interesting. I didn't talk any about YCS Sydney that happened the weekend that Bosch dropped. So it was the first event that was legal under Bosch, and like Pepe completely vaporized that tournament. But the reason why I talked about it was two reasons. One, first of all, I was in conflicting reports. I had a lot of people saying that like there were like one BA and like a bunch of Cosmo, like 5 Cosmo that topped, and there was another one that said that only like 2 or 3 Cosmo topped. So I wasn't like really sure like who to trust because the Australian Yu-Gi-Oh people today they posted it on the website, so I can find it there. So I just kind of like let that one go, and also because the Monarchs weren't out, I thought that was kind of like that YCS only like didn't mean as much as like an event like this meant because the Monarchs are gonna have pretty big impact. I actually have a much more updated view on the Monarch deck that I'm going to be posting probably in the next day or so. But believe me, I'm just going to say straight up, I was pretty wrong about that deck, as I've seen from this event and by looking at duels on DN and just playtesting against the deck myself. It's different than what I envisioned. But we have to talk about this event. So the first deck, the reason why there were 10 Perform Age Pendulum 10 Perform Pal Perform Mage, which is Pepe, your standard Pepe. There were 10 of those, but there was also one that was like a Perform Pal Draco Slayer. It was more of like an OCG look-like deck. It was the first one right here. I'll have a link to this PDF showing all the deck lists in the description down below. I guess like the main thing I saw from this, yeah, it's 3 Gi Turtle, which is sort of cool. It main decks Ariadne, so it can search, stall, and strike. Their hand running is absolutely atrocious. But I just, he main decked Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell, and I actually had to look up this card again. Its effect is when a spell card is activated, discard 1 spell card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. And if you do that, your opponent cannot activate spell cards with that name for the rest of this duel. Like, I read the card, I was like, oh, I mean, that's okay. I guess like I guess the main thing with this card is that like you have Ariadne in your Pendulum Zone, so you don't have to discard a card. But you still have to have a spell card in your hand in order to legally activate the card. You just won't have to pay cost. I thought that was kind of like a strange tech that I don't know. I wasn't too thrilled about. It's when I play Pepe, I don't really use like I don't really have all those extra spells in my hand to play with, and like only Wavering Eyes, but in a mirror match, I would have the Wavering Eyes set, then have it in my hand. Draco Face Off, I usually just use Twin Twister. It really depends. It's kind of bad in the mirror match sometimes, but like when it works, it works. It's really good against other decks though. Also, the thing about Twin Twister that I noticed, Twin Twisters shows up a lot. In these Pepe deck lists, and I think the chief reason why is just because you really need it against the Monarch deck. Believe it or not, I think the biggest reason, and I'll be talking about this more in my Monarch video in the next 2 days. The biggest reason why I was wrong about Monarchs is because yeah, like the deck has consistency issues and it does die to disruption, but its Pepe matchup is really freaking good because you can just first turn Erebus them, shuffle away one of their cards, and then send Pantheism or the Pandeity card, and then you banish it, search domain easily because you pick 3 domain. All right, your opponent. All right, go. All right, opponent, go and pick your favorite. So that's just it's kind of ridiculous. The Pepe deck needs Twin Twister in order to out domain, because otherwise they just can't play. They die super hard to domain. It's really rough. I mean, most decks do, but like they die especially hard because they don't have a main deck. They don't have a main deck out, barring Twin Twisters. That's probably why we're seeing all the main deck Twin Twisters now. So that might be a staple for Pepe now, which is I think it's good. So I mean, some of them didn't, and they did just fine, which is cool. Probably because a lot of these Pepe decks are trying to go first anyway. And they sided it. If they didn't main it, for the most part, I would imagine, yeah, like these guys sided 1. He didn't main any. That's just kind of interesting. What else about this? There's a Mad Spectre that deck that topped. I actually haven't had the chance to look over it. I just want we have look over right now, I guess. Here we go. Looks like a Magispector Ariadne kind of deck. So it's abusing. Okay, I see what it's doing. So it's a Draco Slayer Magispector deck that uses Draco Face Off and uses the Luster Pendulum and Vector Pendulum. Those are pretty good. That's a pretty good scale engine for Magispector, and they really need it. They really do need to multiply their monsters, which is pretty solid. And I guess it's kind of neat that you can search more Solemn Strikes in this deck. It's like you have 2 Solemn Strike and you have 3 Magic Tempest. It's literally the same thing, but like that's probably pretty solid against Pepe. I've never like I'm surprised this deck topped. Good for this guy for the nuts. Some of these deck list names are actually pretty funny. Purgatory Pendulum. I can't use my extra deck and neither can you. Yeah, we gotta talk about this. I can't. No extra deck for you. This deck's resoundingly powerful, especially like I think like its main power comes in just like it's floodgate. Like when it locks, and it's main decking a Magic Fiend and Vanity's Fiend. If you have a Magic Fiend or Vanity's Fiend along with the March of the Monarchs, like what can like Yu-Gi-Oh do against that? That's so hard to kill. Um, I guess like for Monarchs, they just need to fix their consistency, and they're gonna have a much better time. Yeah, dude, their Pepe matchup is unbelievable. I really should have see that coming. There's also a Cosmo deck that I mean it was pretty standard overall. It's like your standard Tin Can Cosmo. There's no Burning Mist that topped. That's actually not surprising to me anymore. I thought they were the second best deck this format, but I was just absolutely wrong with that. In testing lately, it's been going pretty poorly. It's the deck's not as good as I thought. It's probably not as good solely because of the existence of 2 cards, Diamond Direwolf and Twin Twister. That's just giving Burning Abyss a huge headache. There's a lot, especially now, especially with the Monarchs in the game. The Monarchs are going to make Burning Abyss even worse because yeah, they're good against Monarchs, and that means Pepe is going to start main decking Twin Twister. Burning Abyss cannot just deal with Twin Twister because if I flip Anti-Spell during their standby phase, they change Twin Twister and kill my back row. Twin Twister in the back. They Twin Twister kill Anti-Spell in the back row and really sucks. Or what they do is if I want to open Anti-Spell and I just have like 3 sets, they try to bait the first one of the sets out and then they Twin Twister the last 2 remaining ones and then just go and I absolutely die. That's kind of rough. I was wrong about that, and I'll talk about it more in the Monarch video. But yeah, so this is the ARG Circuit Series, Phoenix, Arizona. This whole thing, though, I think the last discussion point is like people are like vehemently going like, "Oh, Pepe's not tier 0." Like I don't know why you guys are worrying so much. Okay, Pepe is in tier 0 probably because of the existence of Monarch. That's probably the only thing keeping them from tier 0. I highly doubt that if Monarch wasn't here, like they'd probably be tier 0. But guys, they're pretty dang close. All right, this deck's pretty insane. So we'll have to see what's gonna happen. See how Pepe decks are gonna evolve in response to the advent of Monarchs. And hopefully these Monarch decks can get more consistency, so they can you know just wreck Pepe. All this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of these deck lists. Again, I'll have them in the description. You can look. This Pepe deck played Soul Charge. That's kind of neat. It's gonna, maybe, yeah, it should be interesting. The format is still really new. We haven't really figured it out yet. So once it people are gonna start figuring it out soon. So we have to wait and see them. Thank you guys very much for watching. And I'll see you all next time.